The Cow by Roald Dahl. Come on, folks. Please listen to what I tell you now about a most fantastic cow. Miss Milky Daisy was her name. And when aged 7 months, she came to live with us. She did her best to look the same as all the rest. But Daisy, 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 as we all could see, had some kind of deformity. A funny sort of bumpy lump on either side above the rump.
Now, not so very long ago,
These bumpy lumps began to grow. And 3 or maybe 4 months later,
I stood there,
an enthralled spectator.
These bumpy lumps burst wide apart.
And out there came, I crossed my heart, of all the wondrous, marvelous things.
A pair of gold and silver wings! A cow with wings! A flying cow! I've never seen one up to now.
Oh, Daisy, dear! Can this be true? She flapped her wings, then up she flew.
Most gracefully she climbed up high. She fairly whizzed across the sky.
Whiz! You should have seen her dive and swoop. She even did a loop-de-loop. Of course, almost immediately, her picture was on live TV.
And millions came each day to stare at Milky Daisy in the air.
They shouted,
Jeepers!
Creepers!
Wow!
It really is a flying
Flying cow. They laughed and clapped and cheered and waved, and all of them were well behaved.
Except for one quite horrid man who you could say was not a fan.
This fellow standing in the crowd raised up his voice and yelled aloud. That silly cow. Hey, listen, Daisy. I think you're absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, Daisy heard quite clearly every single word. By gosh, she cried. What awful cheek. Who is this ill-mannered freak? She dived in using all her power. She got to 60 miles an hour. Bomb's gone, bomb's gone, bomb's gone, she cried. Take that, take that, take that, she said, and dropped a cow pat on his head. Ew! The Porcupine by Roald Dahl. Ow! Each Saturday I shout hooray!
For that's my pocket money day.
So after breakfast, 50p, my generous father gave to me.
Like lightning down the road I ran.
Until I reached the sweet shop man.
The sweet shop man!
The sweet shop man!
And bought the chocolates of my dreams.
A great big bag of raspberry creams.
There is a secret place that I know.
Where I quite often like to go.
Beyond the woods, behind the rocks, a super place for guzzling shocks. When I arrived, I quickly found a comfy-looking little mound, quite clean and brown, an earthy brown.
Just right, I thought, for sitting down. Here I will sit all morning long and eat until my chalks are gone. I sat, I screamed, I jumped a foot. Would you believe that I had put
that tender little rump of mine upon
a giant porcupine?
My backside seemed to catch on fire. My backside seemed to catch on fire. My backside seemed to catch on fire.
100 bits of red-hot wire.
100 prickles sticking in and puncturing my precious skin.
I ran for home and shouted,
Mom! Behold the prickles in my bum.
My mom, who always keeps her head,
Bent down to look, and then she said,
I personally am not about to try and pull those prickles out. I think a job like this requires the services of Mr. Myers.
I shouted, not the dentist, no! Oh, Mom, won't you have a go? I begged her twice, I begged her thrice, but grown-ups never take advice. She said the dentist's very strong.
He pulls things out the whole day long.
She rushed me quickly into town, and there they turned me upside down
Upon the awful dentist chair, while 2 strong nurses held me there.
Enter the dreaded Mr. Myers, waving a massive pair of pliers. This is, he cried with obvious glee, a new experience for me. Mwahaha.
Quite honestly, I can't pretend I've ever pulled things from the sand.
He started pulling one by one, yelling, my, oh my, what fun. I shouted, help! I shouted, help! He said, it's nearly over now.
For heaven's sake, don't squirm about. Here goes, the last one's coming out.
The dentist pulled and out it came. Then I heard the man exclaim, let us now talk about fees. That will be 50 guineas, please. My mother is a gutsy bird. I never want to mince a word. He cried, I got the jolly steep. He said, no, it's very cheap. My dear lady, don't you see? If it hadn't been for me, this child here would have gone another year with prickles sticking in his rear.
So that was that. Well, what a day. Well, a fuss. But by the way, I think I know why porcupines surround themselves with prickly spines.
It is to stop some silly clown by squashing them by sitting down. Don't copy me. Don't be a twit.
Be sure to look before you sit.
The crocodile by Roald Dahl. No animal is half so vile as Crocky walked the crocodile. On sad days, he likes to crunch 6 juicy children for his lunch.
And he especially enjoys 3 of each. 3 girls, 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 3 boys, boys, boys.
He smears the boys to make them hot with mustard from the mustard pot.
But mustard doesn't go with girls. It tastes so wrong with plaits and curls.
With them, what goes extremely well
Is butterscotch and caramel.
It's such a marvelous treat when boys are hot and girls are sweet.
At least guess that's Crocky's point of view.
He's ought to know he's had a few.
That's all for now. It's time for bed.
Lie down and rest your sleepy head.
Listen, what is that I hear?
Don't be up the stairs!
Go lock the door and fetch my gun!
Hurry, child, quickly, run!
No, stop!
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 Stand back!
Back!
He's coming in!
Oh, look, the greasy greener skin, the shining teeth, the greedy smile.
It's